Good evening. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm about to give a really unpopular opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be especially unpopular amongst women.
I'm Gray Mars. Break a record by being with 100 men in one day. And right after she was done, she recorded a documentary.
I'm a vegan weed. Call yourself fresh and wear the same weak ass turtleneck on every show. Goddamn. Then we got goddamn the Sudanese Sambo. Bruh, man.
And I'm Enzo. What's bringing up in my lives is they're like, oh well, he's violating the Constitution by having a meme coin and him making money off it in office and everything like that. I was like, if that was the case, like there would be lawsuits up the ass and impeachment in court.
I'm skeptic. Like I always say, don't let anybody trample on your constitutional rights.
I'm Mia. That's not a correct power dynamic in my mind. Typically, the people that are trying to be removed are not in control. That's why they're easily being removed.
Yo, that was fire.
Yeah.
I like that, though. I like that.
The person that's dealt with some people in the industry, I can personally tell you, most of them are bullshit. Most of them got something going on and they're crazy, and they will have you. I'm talking about they'll have you crazy.
Yeah, you look professional, bro. You look real professional. In case, like Slim said, it's the beginning, man. We're gonna see more. It's gonna unfold, and
that mean I'm doing my job.
Hey. If we sit there and be old school, we gonna miss the boat. You know, a lot of this kids 19 years old buying houses with Bitcoin, buying Maserati.
Wow.
Hi guys, welcome to the new party. It's your girl Nora Christine live. I am back in Florida. Just touched down yesterday evening. I was in New York City for the past 3 days, and I did attend the Diddy trial. Where's my sound effects, guys? Where's my sound effects? So I got in there so you guys don't have to. It was pretty awesome. But there's my clapping. So I got in there so you guys didn't have to. It was a good experience. I got to see Diddy up close and personal. So guys, I learned so much. I'm going to be doing a special stream, the 5 things I learned about going into the Diddy trial. I will be doing it Friday evening. So you guys come back here Friday evening, 8 p.m. I'm going to tell you the 5 things I learned going to the federal courthouse and going in the Diddy trial. I learned so much. I meet so many great people. So shouts out to everyone that's there now. Gray just showed up. Hi, Gray.
How's it going?
Good. Am I loud and clear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is it clear?
It sounds different. Why you got a different microphone or something?
Does it sound good though?
Yeah, I can hear you.
My camera is clear. I don't know if this is a good thing. It's less forgiving. I got upgraded. I got me a new camera. So we professional here. You should consider this camera, but yours usually looks good.
Yeah, this is the best MacBook you can get.
Excuse me. Anyways, guys, so back live. I was telling everybody how I just came back from New York City. Smash the like button, hit the like button. I got to meet a lot of big names. I met Tisa Tells. I met Armand Wiggins. I met Secret Service Sam. Awesome guy. I met some other YouTubers. I met some TikTokers. I'm not a lawyer, but she has over 1 million subs. So shouts out to everyone there. It was an overall great experience. I got to see Diddy up close. I learned a lot. But Gray, is there anything you want to add from my time up there?
It was cool seeing you guys down there and you guys getting around, such big people. That was extremely cool. Also, like just, the fact that IRL content is on the channel now. And we're going to try to get you guys more IRL content, we are independent journalists, so we will be covering a lot more stuff.
Yeah, and we are definitely looking for sponsors. So if anyone is interested in potentially sponsoring us, please feel free to reach out. We would love to go back up to New York City if possible, but if not, we'll continue doing our live stream. So we have a lot to tell you. So something I did learn, because this was my big thing, why I personally did not agree with the RICO charge, is who were the co-conspirators, okay? I found out there are two. The first was the male personal assistant that Diddy had testified. I don't know if you guys recall, but that was the one that they said that he assaulted someone, and he was also alleged to rape someone as well. And then the second is Eddie Garcia. He took the stand yesterday. So I'm not going to go through fully what Eddie Garcia testified to, but the three big things he testified is that he met Diddy. Diddy gave him a brown paper bag, used the money counter, gave him $100,000. He also FaceTimed Cassie. Cassie said she didn't want the video coming out. And the final big piece of it is that Diddy made him sign an NDA with Combs Enterprise at the top. So this is where we're seeing the RICO and the racketeering charge builds out. Gray, what did you feel when we finally found out that there are co-conspirators?
I thought it was pretty crazy. I thought Diddy would have had some people working with him. What I was more shocked by with what you said was when Diddy gave the guy who he paid for the camera footage, and he said, "Hey, don't buy any big purchases soon." And so I would thought with somebody like as with Diddy, it wouldn't matter that he could just go to the bank, take that money out, and hand it out. But I found that interesting.
That's a good point. But also, it wasn't on the up and up. It was like under the table. You're having this guy sign a formal NDA with Combs Enterprise at the top. The other thing was at the top, the date was incorrect. He made sure he signed and put the correct date, but at the top, it said a completely different date, which was very odd. It's obviously they're trying to hide it and they're trying to make sure it's not connected to this. So that was a huge red flag that came out. But today, we are anticipating Jane Doe to be revealed. Before we talk about and play the clip or talk about today, I want to play Ray J, something he said on TMZ, I think a few days ago. Let's play this clip on who he alleged he would believe would be involved in racketeering over Diddy. Let me play the clip.
I feel like it's becoming a circus act for stuff that doesn't make any sense for what Diddy's being charged for. I mean, there's a lot of bad things happening, and we all agree with that. But a RICO, racketeering, sex trafficking, like I've been with Diddy a long time. And if I haven't seen any of these kind of heinous acts happening, then where was I when it was happening? If you told me that the Kardashians was being charged for racketeering, I might believe it. But Diddy, sex trafficking, and all these other extra things, like it's to me, knowing him, knowing the situation, being around with most of the people that's testifying, I just feel like there's somebody at the top who's making a statement, who's making a point. I'm sure Diddy got the point. Free Diddy, he got the point. He's chilling now.
That's not how it works.
I mean, man, I know, I get it, but I'm just keeping it real. Like, it's not okay to throw something extra on a man when the charges could have been something totally different. And
So, Gray, what do you think about what he said?
I thought it was hilarious that he said, if you were talking about the Kardashians, I would believe it. I thought that was hilarious.
He would know, right? He would know.
But I still agree with Ray J to an extent that these charges, to me, you have to come up with some type of other term. I don't feel like what Diddy did or is comparable to what the mafia did.
True.
And who Rudy Giuliani
or drug dealers, like a drug dealing enterprise.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. So it's like, I understand that the RICO encompasses a conspiracy amongst a bunch of people, but like with what Diddy was doing, to me, is just more sexual allegations mostly. Like, obviously there was violence and everything, but everything involved relationships and things going on. It was never like, oh, I sold a person this, or a person was supposed to do this, or I reacted violently. Every single time it was based on if Cassie was with another man or if Diddy wanted pleasure with other people. So that's my issue again with the RICO charge.
Yeah. So pretty much where they're at is they have Mr. Piazza today on the stand, and he's some sort of surveillance video expert. They're asking him questions about his expertise. He said he gets paid $295 an hour. He's taken the stand multiple times. So they're trying to ask him, were the videos doctored, and are there different timestamps on the videos? They're talking about Cassie, in particular, the video of Cassie being, assaulted at the Intercontinental Hotel. It's kind of really boring testimony today. Nothing, I'm looking at it, it's nothing too exciting that came out. The government has now called Brianna Bogle to the stand. Now, this is going to be the meat of what we want to talk about today. She's a fashion designer. So they asked her, what did Mr. Combs do to you? He held me over a 17-story balcony. Any after effects? She said, now I have night terrors. I wake up in my sleep. Who is this? She said, it's Cassie Ventura. I met her in 2013 at Young and Reckless, the streetwear company, then at Diamond Designs. Great. Look this name up. I'm gonna IM it to you in the chat.
Okay.
Because this is the girl that's taking the stand, so we can put her on the screen. Because it's not like a hidden name. By the way, guys, I found out. Gray, I gotta call you later. But I found out Insider T. Allegedly, there was a small YouTuber that leaked Mia's real name and identity that was inside the courtroom Monday. He has now been banned from entering the federal courtroom. So, guys, if you go there and there's stuff that's not supposed to be said or something's anonymous, you cannot leak it. You also cannot talk about the jurors. And because I'm not going to say who I'm hearing it is, but allegedly there is a young woman who goes there daily that someone has wrote a letter to the judge and they are trying to get her banned.
Wow.
Because they're saying that she's leaking stuff that shouldn't be leaked, talking about things that shouldn't be talked about. So yeah, guys, I mean, this is serious stuff. This is a federal courthouse. Yeah, I went there, to talk about this on our podcast, but we have to take this seriously. Okay, so anyways, you put her on the screen. How would you describe Cassie's relationship with Mr. Combs? Volatile. I did not want to meet him right away. I'd seen a black eye. She begged me to meet him. Did you do design work for Mr. Combs? A little. Where did Mr. Combs live? I believe in Beverly Hills. So basically, they said objection. Ask another question. Do you know the name of the street? She said the address. What did you do with Cassie? She said drugs and we'd go shopping. We hang out with Deontay. That's the gay guy that took the stand and others. Is this a photo of you and Cassie shopping? Yes, in April 2016. Puff asked Cassie where she was. Sent a list where we'd been. Had you or Cassie told Mr. Combs where you were? No. How did it make you feel? Objection overruled. Like, oh my God, he knows where we've been. Where would you sleep at Cassie's? At the couch or the balcony? Why would you sleep on a balcony?
I don't know.
This is odd. Very, very odd about this person. Anyways, that's the last thing. Let me see if Inner City Press posted anything else. Because, just so you guys know, I did see the Inner City Press guy. He does sit in the courtroom. Only a handful of press are able to have their phones. They take our phones. We don't have our phones. But Inner City Press is legit. I will tell you guys that he does have a phone in the courtroom and he is allowed to, but not everyone is able to. That's why, unfortunately, we can't get things out as fast as him. But good thing he's there, because then I'm able to get this to you. Okay, wait, more stuff has reloaded. Sorry, guys. 1 second. All right. Did Mr. Combs come over? Yes. He banged on the door and he came in. Do you know how? I don't know. He was upset. He threw a knife in her direction and she threw it back. He left swiftly. Were you doing drugs? I don't remember. Did you call the police? No. Why not? I was scared. Did you see injuries on Cassie? She showed me on FaceTime before making for the perfect match. What did she say? She was quiet. We were at the party at the Blind Dragon, a karaoke bar in West Hollywood. Then we went to Cassie's house to help her pack. Deontay was there. Puff came. Are you under subpoena? Yes. I won't get in trouble. I am truthful. Did Mr. Combs provide you drugs? Yes. One was called G. I'm not an avid user. Ketamine. I don't want to say the drugs name, but M and C. How often did you get drugs for Cassie? Often. Oxy pills. Did she pay you? Yes. Jesus Christ. Did you get drugs from Mr. Combs? Yes. Once, coke. Do you sell drugs to others? Yes, sometimes. Did you try with Cassie to stop drugs? Yes, we tried to coke, but there was a lot of drugs around. Has Mr. Combs ever threatened you? Yes. Okay, so before I continue reading, what is your thoughts on the amount of drugs that these people were on? I mean, it doesn't sound like it was all Diddy making her do it. She did it alone with Cassie. Does this now help or hurt Diddy's defense?
Help. And also the music industry in general. I mean, go listen to any rap song in today's world, and you're going to hear about drugs. You're going to hear about women being promiscuous. You're going to hear about people traveling and doing the wildest things. You're going to hear about violence. So, I mean, Diddy is, of course, from the 90s with Biggie, but Biggie was talking about the same stuff. I mean, like, they had beef with Tupac. They had beef with Death Row. I know Biggie talked about smoking weed. I don't think he ever talked about doing any harder type of drugs. But I think Future was the person to come out to really talk about doing, ecstasy, and Molly was hot when Trinidad James came out, when he was just like gold everything. That's where I remember first hearing about it. So entertainment and drugs are synonymous. Whether it's Hollywood, whether it's the music industry, drugs are going to be involved. So Diddy's not the only person that is liable in this situation, especially if you're talking about drug use.
And okay. Has Combs ever threatened you? Yes. Let me show you a photo from April 2016. Who is in it? The photographer who goes by the name Bad Boy with me. We thought it was cool. That was his name. We thought we'd make some art. Pup came up close to my face and said, "I am the devil and I could kill you." She starts to cry. Were you taking drugs that day? Probably coke. Did you continue to see Mr. Combs that day? Yes. Why? I don't know. Did you tell the government about this threat in your first meeting? No. Objection. So they took a break. They're on break now. So the thing is this. I think this definitely helps Diddy. I'm going to tell you why. How do you know that Puppy did this to you? You know what I'm saying? You was drugged up. How do you know? Hi, thank you, Dark. How do you know? You were drugged up.
Exactly. I mean, like, the more and more testimony that comes out with Cassie and what she was partaking in, the less and less she seems like a victim, as well as other people that are involved in this. It seems like everybody was getting something out of something, like how we just talked about the security guard. He called his boss, and his boss set the price, and then Diddy doubled the price. So it's just like everybody is saying Diddy did this. If it's a RICO, who else is facing charges? With Young Thug case, it was multiple people charges.
They are co-conspirators. They would have been had they not testified. This is what's unfair. You are basically forcing people's hands to testify. It's not right.
Exactly. So if it was this big RICO thing, why would the government be giving these people deals? If these people are such a danger to society, why would you give them deals? I understand you got to take down the big fish, but I haven't heard. Go ahead.
And I think they should publicly charge this chick with drug trafficking, because it sounds like she traffics drugs. The thing is with Eddie Garcia was not a criminal had it not been for Diddy. I feel empathetic for him, but this girl, she was dealing out drugs to everybody. Why does she not have charges against her? Why does Cassie not have charges? Got exclusive clip I want to play for you, Gray. It's the Punisher. You remember him?
No.
All right. So the Punisher was the guy. He took the stand. I wasn't there for this, unfortunately, but basically he's one of the ones that did a lot of freak offs with them. Let me play the clip. When you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. 1 second. Okay. He did an interview with Cameron. Here we go.
I mean, bro, even if it was fire.
Bro, was the pussy good, family? Let's stop the political shit. We was Harlem time, my nigga. You 39th Street on 40th. Was the pussy, how was that pussy, my nigga?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like I got a dude pacing back and forth, beating his joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My peripherals, my spider senses is wilding. You know what I'm saying? And especially when I found out it was Puff. When I found out it was Puff, it got all the way worse because if you grew up in Harlem, if you grew up in that era, I can't validate it, but everybody knows there's rumors, right? There's rumors that he could be, you know, interested in dudes. So the whole time I'm semi-paranoid. Like I wrote in my book, bro, for real. I got a hearing problem.
Right.
And sometimes when he would give her directions, I would hear like something completely different. Like he'll say, yo, I like the position you in, and I'm like, yo, did he just say I wish I could penetrate him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hearing, like, yo, hold up, wait, what did he just say? Like,
so basically, you never could get comfortable because. So let's just be clear and get the elephant out the room for the audience. You're not gay? You're saying?
Absolutely not. Bro.
Right. So I was reading that in the beginning, you didn't even know what was going on, that it was even Puff was participating. Could you explain your first time going to one of these events?
Yeah, so I really believed they were a married couple. Like when I got there, I didn't recognize Cassie.
Right.
Like I saw her face, she looked familiar, but honestly, when I saw her, I thought she was Megan Good.
Right.
Like if I was gonna pin, I was like, yo, I think this is Megan Good. But then when I looked on the Google, Megan Good was much thicker. So I couldn't really figure it out. So, and then when she said her husband, when Puff walks out to finally, you know, do his voyeur thing and see what's going on.
So hold on real quick. It didn't start with Puff in the room.
Nah, it never started with him in the room.
Okay.
It would only be me and her. And she said at some point, her husband's going to walk in and I'm not supposed to acknowledge him, look at him, act like he's not even in the room.
Right.
So we'll be like on the couch, let's say on one end of the room, and then like on the far end of the room, it'll be like a table with a chair. And eventually he'll come in the room and like sit in the area across the room, like watching. And we're supposed to act like he's not there.
How often, pardon me, not how often, how long did it take until you realized that it was Diddy?
Bro, like, I want to say like over a year.
Get the fuck out of here. A whole year? Why? So let me, how long, okay, let's, I want to stick to that for a second, but how long did you know till it was Cassie?
So the minute I found out it was Diddy, that's when I knew it was Cassie.
So it took a year for you to find out for Cassie as well?
Yeah, yo,
Okay.
I didn't recognize it. Like when I jumped out of it, I did try to do the Google searches. Like I wanted to try to figure out who it was, but I'm Googling a married couple.
Right.
So every result I'm getting is not leading me to the right places because they're not married.
Got you.
You know, so then, and I never found out with a visual cue. It was a hotel, the ex's house, and I would get there, let's say 2 a.m, and sometimes nothing would pop off for hours. So in this case, they threw me in like an extra room in the suite. Mm-hmm. And just to kill time, I happened to cut on the TV, but and the TV had a welcome message. So the TV said, yo, ex's house would like to welcome Mr. Sean Combs. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So that's how you found out that it was Cassie and Diddy by just cutting on the TV and seeing the introduction on the television. Wow.
Cutting on the TV.
Wow. I seen also in the transcripts that you would say that it was just a sex scene in the beginning. Nothing, no intercourse. How long until you had actual?
Ray, what do you think of this?
I definitely wanted to hear that part, but to speak on,
I didn't cut it off. It cut it off.
But to speak on the swingers world, in some aspects, I think that this is common practices, not like not knowing who the person is, but you know, what's called in the swing world, would be full swap, where a person gets to actually have intercourse with a person's partner. And then
Well, no, that would be called a cuckold because he
cuckold,
wasn't a swapping. They weren't swapping. There was no one for him to be with. So listen, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. No homo, no Diddy. But I personally think I can't imagine and understand how a man would want to see that and not be into men if you're not swapping.
Right. So he couldn't get aroused because he felt like Diddy was looking at him in a predatory manner. So,
That makes sense.
Yeah, so he wasn't able to get into the mood because he's worried about Diddy taking his manhood. So the fact that it went on for a full year without him actually knowing who these people were, like did he have on a mask, like, and you say you're seeing him pleasure himself walking around the room, like, so his pants are probably not on, so it was the room too dark, like, it's a lot of questions to like actually be dealing with someone for a full year and to never know who they really are. I want to quote Eddie Murphy, though. Eddie Murphy was caught with a transgender, and he said that once you've had so much regular monogamous intercourse, that you need other things to give you mental stimulation. So I don't know if Diddy was so tired of just the same old thing, he needed something to give him an adrenaline rush.
Wow. Also, Inner City Press, I love you, but some of the messages weren't making sense. Let me give you more backstory because I went to New York Ports. She testified that she was in Malibu doing a photo shoot on the beach with Cassie in 2016 when Diddy approached her and gave her a menacing threat. He came up really close to my face and said something along the lines of, "I'm the devil and I could kill you." She said she didn't know why he said that to her and couldn't tell if he was on drugs at the time. I was terrified, admitting that she was also on coke at the time. Wow. I mean, it sounds like to me they were all on a lot of drugs. So this is my thing. And again, I'm not trying to justify Diddy's behavior, but who's to say you didn't do something to Diddy that made him react like that? We're getting only one side of this, and that's why I stand on. I really think Diddy should testify. I mean, but I don't know. I keep people. Somebody who I met in line, who's a legal analyst, she made up a good point. Shout out to her. I met a lot of great people. She said, "Do you remember the video he made when he made that apology?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Do you think that person should testify?" I said, "No, he was terrible." But I mean, maybe with coaching, he has $1 million team. They could prepare him.
They're not going to give an excuse of, "Oh, okay, you were on drugs." If you were drunk, they're not going to say, "Oh, well, you were drunk. We're not going to give you a DUI." So that's not going to help him. But you saying that other people on drugs, that does make it their character look
Well, but he could give background and say, "Yeah, I said that to her, but she slapped me in my face." You know what I'm saying? Because this is their version. I just feel like a lot of these stories, Gray, and you got to agree with me, they ain't adding up. They not making sense. There's details being left out.
There's definitely details being left out. It's probably stuff people don't want people to know. I definitely think that other stylists and like Diddy probably did something to these guys, and these guys are afraid. Because I mean, I feel like at some point Diddy was gonna get tired of using his hand. So I mean, I feel like it's a lot more that we don't know. But Diddy's the person that's going down because he's the big dog. He's at the top.
Right. So the other thing she alleges is that he held her over a 17-story balcony. He threw me onto the balcony furniture. He said the incident left her with a bruise on the back of her leg and caused her to sometimes wake up in the middle of the night with night terrors. Yeah. What do you think about that? You think that that's real? You think it's legit? What's your thoughts?
What's funny is the fact that Diddy's being accused of hanging her off a balcony. His big main rival, Suge Knight, held Vanilla Ice over a balcony. I don't know if you knew that, to take the money from his contract. So I do believe that Diddy probably did do these type of tactics. I mean, like, again, Diddy's been attached to a litany of crimes, mostly for violence before this in the 90s, but now, all these trafficking crimes. So
yeah, and I will be doing a special show where I'm talking about Diddy's arrest. He's been arrested about 4 or 5 times. He was arrested for Scott Storch. He assaulted the coach at UCLA, the shooting with J-Lo, and now this. I mean, also that party in his college days. Like
He fought Drake.
Fought Drake. A number of things that we need to talk about. Like, and I'm not Diddy deranged. Let me tell you, I met some people at the courthouse. They are so Diddy deranged. They hate Diddy. They do all their topics are Diddy, 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 Diddy. He's a monster. But I'm gonna tell you this: I think he's a nice guy? No. But do I think he's guilty of RICO and racketeering and sex trafficking? No. These are not the right charges.
Especially because nobody has said that Diddy had intercourse with him. Nobody but Cassie. So I mean,
No, that's not true. Yeah, Mia.
Well, I'm talking about the escorts and all the people involved in the freak offs. Like, but yes, was Mia a part of the freak off, or was that another relationship?
Let's tell you about Mia. Mia wanted to be Cassie. Cassie wanted to be his wife. And I have a theory. The reason why Cassie loved the freak offs is because while they were doing the freak offs, she got to run around and say that that was her husband and she was the wife. So for the 3 days they were doing these freak offs, and for all intents and purposes, she was his wife.
Is it common law marriage? They should be married through common law, right? It's like what, living together for 7 years or something?
She wasn't the main chick. She had about 4 girlfriends. He had Kim, he had Gina, and whoever, God knows who else he was with. He had Miami, young Miami, and then what's that girl's, the baby mama that came to court yesterday? What's her name?
Something Tran.
Something Tran.
Yeah.
He had her and her. By the way, I got to see her in person, guys. Very beautiful girl. She came to court. I got to see his publicist. I got to see I was in the elevator with Justin Combs. Very arrogant. Dana Chi, yeah. Very, very arrogant kid. But maybe he just didn't feel like talking to nobody. And the bodyguard was right there next to us. He was literally standing a foot away from me.
Yeah,
the grandmother is very nice, Miss Combs.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I don't know if you also heard the rumors that everything is in Diddy's mother's name. Mace accused.
And everything is in Diddy's mother's name. There are I'm gonna tell you why that exists. He has a company called Janice Combs Publishing, and basically what that represented was his anything with his name and likeness gets paid into that account. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, so that's how Diddy got out of a lot of stuff financially. And here's the thing, and this is any advice to any celebrity, any person out there with any type of power. When you use your power on people, when mad they come, they're gonna come back for you. And that's what happened with Diddy. Like, you took advantage, then now Cassie mad, and now this avalanche of stuff has just happened.
True. This is like revenge for her. I mean, everything is surrounding her. Everybody that testifies, it surrounds her in some way. Guys, also, another thing that came out. Trump said on Friday, if you recall, if he feels Diddy is being treated unfairly, he would look into pardoning him. So 50 Cent has now taken it upon him to now want to meet with Trump. He remember when his ex-girlfriend, Chelsea Handler, was trying to pressure him not to vote for Trump. He didn't want to meet with Trump. Now he's going to go meet with Trump to block a pardon. And also, he's released this video. Let me play this video, and I'm going to let you know my thoughts on it as the Trump supporter on the call. Let me play this.
White men like Trump need to be banished. Trump gets elected, I really do believe in my heart there'll be a race war. That's why this message is not just to black people. You know what I'm saying? This message is to everybody. You know, this man is really trying to turn us against each other and put us in a situation. America messed up. White men like Trump.
Okay, so let me say this. And Gray, please don't be offended. I don't mean this towards you. But unlike the left, the right, we believe fair is fair, wrong is right, right is wrong. And we don't care if who people support. If we see something wrong and egregious going on, we call it out. There's been a lot of right political commentators, influencers, commentators, political people that have said that this is wrong, what's happening in Diddy. And I believe we're going to all still stand on that. For me, this doesn't change anything. And I know, I believe that Trump is a fair man, and it's not going to change anything for him. What do you think, Ray? You think this is going to influence Trump?
First on what Diddy said. But people saying the race war, I saw somebody post that there's a TikTok race war going on, and to some extent, I have to agree. Running the social media for the new party, other than the X/Twitter, the comments that I see from mostly white people that are MAGA are disgusting, especially if you're discussing black stuff. I recently posted that black people are 50% of the population, and the same crimes happen with white people, but we're the most incarcerated. The comments that I read were pretty severe. As far as like Diddy getting a pardon from Trump, like I said before, he's for sale. If Diddy gets with the right people, he can get the money to the right places. He will walk out of prison from a pardon from Donald Trump. It doesn't matter what 50 Cent says. Trump is about money. Trump is about deals. If you can make Trump look good, if you can get Trump money, Diddy right now walking there with a MAGA hat, bro, you out of there tomorrow.
So let me say this. I think it's both sides. I can tell you from personal experience, the most hate that I've ever personally got is from the left. From being called a Karen to being called the C word. I don't get things like that from the right. I mean, I think when I go against something they're doubling down on, I do get it from them to some extent. But I think for me personally, being a person of color, Black conservative, I get it the most from the left. So I think it's just we're in a very divisive time, and I don't blame all of Trump for that. I blame both sides.
My response to that would be any Black Republican deserves to be called the C word of that animal. Just because it's just what I've seen, and not particularly from you, Nora, but you've complained about this.
True. I'm not even going to be able to dispute this either.
Most Black political commentators just attack Black people. If they were talking about real policy and real stuff, I would say, okay, it made sense. At least Candace always ventured off, and I'm not agreeing with what she's saying, with some of the stuff she's saying, but at least she ventured off, and then she's able to talk about more stuff. But your average Black political commentator just attacks Black people.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. I can't dispute that. I can't dispute it. Fair enough. Hold on. This clip was 414. What does this clip say? Oh, I got another clip from that guy. I'm going to play it for you because I know you were really interested in him. This is another clip from The Punisher. Okay.
I also seen that you say when you and her were doing what you guys were doing, he would be pacing back and forth with a bottle of Astroglide.
Yeah, man. Every time, it was obviously something he was into in terms of visually watching this. So
what was being done with the Astroglide though?
I guess he's using it as lubricant to beat off. You know what I'm saying? That was, he's pleasuring himself during the action. So I'm obviously he's using that for lube.
Do you consider Puff a cuckold?
Yeah, I mean the whole time that's what I thought it was.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's because you keep using the word voyeur. This is cuckold activity.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, we're gonna step it up to cuckold.
Yeah. So I'm saying voyeur because that's what she said to me.
Right.
Like when I came in.
You know why? Because they down. You know why? Because voyeur don't seem as bad as cuckold. So they downplay it with the I'm just a voyeur. Nah, you was an official cuckold, nigga. Because voyeur can mean you watching anybody, not your girl. Cuckold is when your girl is in play. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's sound cuckoldish, man. Did you go raw ever?
Yo, bro, yeah, for real, bro. That same day when he threw the stack of hundreds,
right?
Like we were on the bed and I started out, I'm eating a box, right, and after you would tell it was like some excitement, some connection. So when I pop up, she's scooting towards me for the penetration, and she kind of looked at him. And he was like, yo, go ahead, have a good time. And I was wild reckless. I just was what it was.
So it's only one time you went raw. You repeatedly wrong.
That was, let's say that was the 4th time, and then it was every time to the last time.
When he gave y'all the permission to go raw the first time, right? Because you said it continued after that. Once you started going raw repetitively, did he give you instructions where you had to nut at or you came in her?
Yeah, so I didn't get the instructions from him, but it was instructions from her, like specifically. Every time I nutted, I had to nut in or around the outside of her box. Like, so on her clit, on the lips, everything, and to that degree on the outside of her vagina. And that was clockwork. It had to be done like that every single time. And actually, it was kind of mandatory. Like the session could not be over unless I nutted, and I had to nut on the outside of her vagina. Like,
you couldn't leave until that happened?
Yeah, that was like mandatory. Though. It was like
So
that gotta happen for the session to be over.
And those instructions that she gave you, they came from him or they was from both of them or just her?
I mean, like I said, I only ever spoke to her.
Mm-hmm.
So the instructions came from her.
How was that pussy though?
I mean, bro, even if it was fire.
Bro, was the pussy good, family? Let's stop the political shit. We was Harlem time, my nigga. You 39th Street and 40th. Was the pussy, how was that pussy, my nigga?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like, I got a dude pacing back and forth, beating his joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My peripherals, my spider senses is wilding. You know what I'm saying? And especially when I found out it was Puff. When I found out it was Puff, it got all the way worse, because if you grew up in Harlem, if you grew up in that era, I can't validate it, but everybody knows there's rumors, right? There's rumors that he could be, interested in dudes. So the whole time I'm semi-paranoid.
Ray, would you have been able to like focus and
What my answer would be is this, because what it sounds like, it was a power trip for Diddy. So would it have been a power trip for Diddy? I feel like that's what he was getting his pleasure off. With this guy, it definitely sounded like it was work. And speaking as the man on the line, there are times during intercourse where you're just doing your job, where it's just not pleasurable anymore. You're just doing your job to get through it or whatever. Like, there's a famous quote that goes around. I want to show the meme where they basically say once the guy can't finish, he starts to think about your homegirls mentally. So yeah, I could, if it was Diddy, my approach would have been a little bit different. Have been like, okay, Diddy, I know it's you. We got to up the price. Don't look at me like look the other way. Like I would, you know what I'm saying? Something
you think
like
that this alpha male running $1 billion industry would allow you to dictate the terms? He said, get the fuck out of here and have his security guards come whoop up on you.
Here's the thing. Money doesn't matter when you in the hotel room and you turn around and there's a man looking at your butt. It doesn't matter if you're a trillionaire. It doesn't matter if it was Donald Trump at that moment. I would have said, hey, bro, you got to chill.
Tell you guys, should I say what I told you about the zesty comment? Or don't say it?
No, go ahead and say it.
I'm going to give y'all some tea. Diddy, to me, looked very zesty when I saw him. He looked like an old man homo. I'm not going to I'm not no, and I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just saying he looked very zesty when I saw him. Like, I'm not going to hold you. If I didn't know it was Diddy, like, because he's wearing like a Mr. Rogers sweater, his hair kind of looks like a panda bear. It was very zesty. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, that's a man's worst nightmare. Is to have a
but
man.
But I wonder if I feel like that because of all the stories I've heard now.
No, I heard that about Diddy earlier, like he said. I mean, I was stationed in New York, and I don't remember particular them saying stuff about Diddy, but I always heard little stuff about Diddy. Who's another guy? Kevin Spacey. There's certain people.
Ray J.
Ray J, you hear certain little rumors about.
Well,
Actually,
Suge Knight alleges that Ray J and Diddy are lovers.
it's possible. It's possible. I believe it. And I got an exclusive. Alicia Keys don't kill me, but I know somebody that was in a studio. And Alicia Keys brought a girl in there with her, and let's just say they were more than friends. So this happens all over the industry.
Oh my God. Got my eyes bugged out like that chick. I'm not gonna say her name. You know what I'm talking
Yeah. So I mean that happens. People have fetishes. People have what they like. People, if you have that much money, you can go do anything you want. I'm pretty sure having power over a man and being like, you can't leave here until you finish where I tell you that you finish it. I'm pretty sure for Diddy there was some type of power, like some type of ecstasy and pleasure controlling those men.
This is crazy. But
It is.
anywho, guys, yeah. All right, Gray. We're gonna have to finish up about this girl's what she talks about, her testimony tomorrow. What are you looking forward to for the rest of the trial, for the rest of the week?
The person who I want to see testify, who people are not talking about, I want to see that white guy that took the pink stuff to Miami.
Matumchi.
And I want to see Karichi testify. Those would be the people. Lauren London. I want to see Lauren London testify. I want to see that type of stuff. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if Diddy's gonna beat it. And I heard Suge also said that Diddy's messed with too many men in the industry that basically.
They got that lady's interview on. Hold on, guys. Pause for the cause. Okay, guys, if you watch our show yesterday, I sat next to this lady. I want you to see. I want to play the interview. Hold on, guys. I was sitting next to her when this happened. I got a video, about 300,000 views. Let me show you. Sorry, Gray. I want you to see who it was.
All right.
Maybe she talks about me. Who knows?
Diddy, everyone thinks this is a joke. Everyone laughs in every courtroom in here at you, and I don't think it's funny for people to laugh at a black man going through what he's going through right now.
And that's what you shouted out in the actual courtroom.
In the actual courtroom, and it's not funny. Laughing at black man legacy being destroyed.
How did Diddy react?
Well, I heard he had his mouth open and shaking his head, yeah. And black American men do not believe in this kind of destroying of our black American legacy figures, father figures, extraordinary excellency, black excellence. Everyone has been laughing. I don't care if it sounded funny, it's not funny. Diddy, everybody.
This is her, guys. Exclusive. I was sitting next to this woman, and I will tell you, the court, they're not telling you everything. Let me tell you the tea. Wasn't sitting down and dragged out. She was on her way to leave. She said she had an appointment to go to because she was sitting next to me. And leading up to this, she was getting mad because she said, I don't know why they're laughing. And in all fairness, nobody was necessarily laughing at Diddy. They were preparing for the day. They were having casual conversation. I don't believe anyone was probably directly talking about him. But, you know, it's a tense courtroom. You feel, let me say this, something that, shout out to Secret Service Sam. He said that I have to agree with. It is a heavy, heavy feeling being in that courtroom. It is the hardest thing to experience. You are literally, and I agree with her to some extent. You are literally watching one of our black excellent figures. You know, I know we have FBA, all these different terms of being black, but at the end of the day, we're all black in this country, Caribbean, African, you know what I'm saying, FBA. And it is very sad. I'm not foundationally black, but I consider myself black growing up in a Caribbean family. It is very sad to see one of our very few black excellence, because Diddy is black excellence, being teared down. So I got to give it to her. It's very sad seeing his mother, who's having a hard time walking, coming in every day, listening to them destroy her son's legacy. And it is hard to see his sons listening to that. So I can only imagine how emotional she feels. She's been there. I've heard from the jury selection to now seeing this. So I understand her sentiments. However, you can't pop off in a federal courthouse. You just can't. There has to be order.
My feelings is this, and this is how I'm able to deal with you black Republicans. What I hate is when everything goes left and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's a black man, it's a black man. Like, come on, like Diddy blew up Kid Cudi car. He was doing freak offs. He was getting high. He was doing all this wild stuff. Let's stick to Diddy's innocent because of XYZ, XYZ. Like when you try to pull the race car and the person is actually doing something, it hurts like what black people are really trying to accomplish. Like, so that's what I don't like with certain crimes when a person is guilty and then they're saying, oh, they're just doing this to me because I'm black. Like, so
Well, the thing is this, they're not even talking about the good things he's done. Like, I don't think it's fair. They're talking about, all these things, but did you know he started a charter school in an underdeveloped area? Like, there's a lot of good things he did that I feel like are being thrown out. And I guess it's how it has to be, but it is hard because we don't have many black excellent men, but there are more white men that get praised than black men in this country, and that's the reality. He was one of the only few that we had a handful of, and his legacy is now destroyed.
hip hop
And
has
also,
made
he was a black, sorry, one last thing. He was a black man that still connected with the black community. And a part of the whole issue with the liquor company is he didn't like that they were targeting certain areas. That was the part of the issue. So even then, he was still trying to help the black community. And also another thing, before he got arrested, you remember, Gray, we talked about this. He was trying to start a political party for black people to break away from the Democratic Party. We can't forget that. Okay. So this is why we're bringing up the race and why we're upset, because it appears to be that the federal government has their teeth sunk in him. And the answer is it because he's bad? Because he was allegedly a CIA asset for years for them? Or is it because, allegedly again, or is it because he's this bad person?
Diddy was a pioneer in hip hop. I mean, so basically the hip hop industry, the rap industry has made black men millionaires, have made black men billionaires, and Diddy was one of the frontiers of that. So as far as like this being like an issue coming from the federal government, I don't necessarily agree. This is a state case, right? Or is this a federal case?
Bad, Monte.
State case? Okay.
Agree. Yes.
As far as it being this conspiracy, Diddy was enjoying himself and Diddy was doing wild stuff. I don't think that they can make that up. Do I feel like you're a person that, became a target because you might have crossed the wrong people, so they went and told on you? That's very possible. But from what we've seen, Cassie is the person that told on him. Cassie's the one that spearheaded this whole campaign against Diddy. And Chopper from Making a Band said he saw Cassie in the club with her husband, and she came up to him and said, Diddy did all these things to me. I'm going against Diddy. Now, that somebody get in Cassie's ear and say, hey, you should do this, that's very possible. But I don't know as far as the political stuff going on. I feel like Diddy aligns with the left and, sticks with the typical what black people want in this country.
Well, what's your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts would be that Diddy, you have put yourself in a big predicament. I do feel like you're innocent over RICO. I don't think anyone should be prosecuted for having certain fetishes, and your personal life has been thrown out there. But I would just say you have one of the best criminal defense attorneys. He's got off ASAP Rocky. I think he has something to do with
true. YSL.
YSL. You've got a lawyer that's helped a lot of people, so you're doing the right mode. I don't know if targeting you as a black man is the best defense. I think your best defense is this was a domestic case. I was getting high and things just got out of control.
Oh God. Guys, wow. What can I say? It's a different vibe being in that courtroom. Guys, we are always accepting super chat. Please give us a subscription. We'll have more exclusive content coming out for you. We have the Man Show coming on tonight at 8. Tomorrow night, we'll be back with the new party and back to our regular schedule at 9. All I have to say is, being in the courthouse was a different experience. It was hard seeing Diddy in the position he was in. However, I had a watershed moment, and the watershed moment that I think I got to is he has to go down to protect his family. I mean, there are a lot of businesses in his mother's name, who probably Justin's name. So someone as the patriarch of your family, sometimes you have to go down and save the ship. I'm going to send prayers and positivity their way. They were very nice people, didn't give us any bad looks or feelings. So I'm sending them nothing but positivity. Shout out to all the nice people I met in New York City. Hopefully, maybe we'll get to go back. If not, I made a lot of great connections. So I'm very optimistic about that. Thank you so much for supporting us, guys. And I'm going to be starting to do 1 minute recaps at the end of every day. It's an idea that came to me. So if you guys want to get the Diddy trial in 1 minute, be on the lookout for that. I'll be posting it to the New Party channel. Tapping is clapping. Hit the like button and please share, and subscribe. God bless. Good day and have a happy Wednesday.